In this video, what I want to do is make a chain, well not a change, but make it so when the weapon is raising, it is randomly switching between the weapons, and then once it's, finally reached the end, it's already got its uh, last selected weapon, and it will lower it. And yeah, I don't know how else to describe that, so it's just going to be randomly changing between weapons as it's raising. So let's begin. So mysterybox.cpp. We're going to head over to begin play. By default, we're going to hide all of these weapons. So where we loop through and we spawn all the weapons, we're going to do weapon, set actor hidden in game, pass in true as the parameter to hide it. Inside of raise weapon, here's where we're going to kind of do everything. So we have this random index that we're passing in. We want to store that. So I'll just do mine under the timer handles. It's going to be a uint8 weapon array index. That's going to be set to 0 by default. We're going to have another one. It's going to be uint8 box weapon array length. Set that to 0 by default, and we're going to set that here and begin play. So after they've all spawned, so after the for loop, we're going to do box weapon length array length equals box weapon array dot num, like so. And then we're going to start using this. So if we go down to our use function, we're going to replace box weapon array dot num with box weapon array length. And let's start working on it. So we go multi-box used, we pass in the random index. So let's go ahead and set weapon array index to equal random index, the value given from the server. And that's going to pretty much call a function called raise weapon every, I think, 10 milliseconds. So raise weapons right here. So we need to use that index. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, let's store selected weapon. So a weapon base selected weapon, for declare it. And we're also going to store the previous weapon. So previous weapon. Actually, that previous weapon might not be necessary, but anyways, we're going to change the 0 index to our weapon array index, like so. Now I want to make one quick change real quick. So back to begin play, where we set our weapon array length. I want this to be subtracted by 1. So if we have 3 elements in the array, the .num function is going to return 3. However, if we try to access that index 3 in an array length of 3, it's going to be out of bounds. So we need to have it be the max of 2. So 0, 1, 2 being 3 elements, not 1, 2, 3. So that'll just help prevent a crash there without having to do any sort of checking and stuff here. So we have our selected weapon. So select weapon equals box weapon array index. So I want to alter that index. So if, let's see, weapon array index is greater than box weapon array length, set weapon array index to equal 0. Otherwise, I want to increase weapon array index by 1. Then we get our selected weapon. I want to get the previous weapon. So previous weapon equals box weapon array index. Or let's create a new variable, uint8 previous index. equals, set it to 0 for now. So we're going to do if weapon array index is greater than 0, we're going to set previous index to equal weapon array index minus 1. Otherwise, we want to set previous index to equal box weapon array length. Previous index as our index for the previous weapon. So I'll explain what we're doing here in a second. So first off, we want to unhide the selected weapon. So selected weapon, set hidden in game, false. We want to hide our previous weapon. So if previous weapon equals null pointer, actually we don't need to worry about that. So if previous weapon's valid, so we're going to previous weapon, set actor hidden in game, true. So I'm going to just give this a quick test. And if it works, I will go through and explain step by step what all we just did. Once it finishes compiling. So to sum it up, we're pretty much starting at a random index of the array, and we want to loop through that array all the way to the end. Once we reach the end, we want to go back to the beginning and then continue to loop through. So that way we're starting at a random spot and we'll end at a random spot, but we'll keep looping through the array in just, a normal, just ascending order. So let's test it. I press F and we get a crash. So we have an out of bounds. So 3 from an array size of 3. That makes me question greater than box weapon array length minus 1. No. So let's comment out the previous weapon. See if that's the issue there. That should be taken care of. So actually, no, I think I need to subtract 1 from box weapon array length. So we should get a crash still. Try it, wait for it to crash. Yep, so that's the issue. So I'm gonna uncomment that. We're gonna do box weapon array length minus 1. So it was going 1 index out of bounds. So we can change that even to weapon array index is greater than or equal to box weapon array length, or just greater than box weapon array length minus 1. It'll do essentially the same thing. Let's try it. And there you can see it's switching through all the weapons. And it selects the final one like so. So what we need to do now is go to our lower weapon, box weapon array. We need to use the weapon array index instead. Actually, we don't need to even do any of this. All we need to do is if select a weapon is equal to null pointer, we're going to return. Otherwise, we just, keep lowering it. So this should allow it to lower the weapon. And if you're concerned about the weapons constantly changing insanely fast, that'll be corrected later on. We're going to make it separate. We'll use a separate timer. So the speed that it is raising at does not control the speed at which the weapons are switching. So that way we can just kind of control it. So pressed F, randomly selects the weapons, selects the pistol as the last one. All right, we're gonna do it one more time just to confirm. All right, press F, same thing. And now we got the M1 carbine. So it's selecting a random weapon. Out of curiosity, I'm just more so curious. Let's see what it does on the client. Should do about the same thing, except it's not actually raising it. So that's the only issue that I could see there. But it is selecting, the same weapon. All right. So that worked on the client just then. Was it when the client purchased it, I'm guessing? Actually, no, I see the pistol being way up high, but the STG and the M1 are not. So I'm wondering, actually, let me purchase it on the server. Okay, let me try this again. Server purchase it, make sure it's not going to continually stay on the 1911. Okay, so the 1911 is working with that. However, I have a hunch all the other weapons are not. And the 1911 is the first index, I believe. Yes. So it's kind of being stuck at 0. So I think that's due to the length and all that not really being known to the other clients. So let's see. I'm just gonna do a quick look through. So yada yada yada, random index. Because we're calling raise weapon, and the client would not know what box weapon array length is. So we need to set that on the client like so. So what we're going to do is come down to our multicast box used implementation, box array length. We're setting it so that way it's known on the client and it can continue to do, its thing on the client. All right, let's give it a quick test. Okay, client purchases it and the weapons are going up as intended now. So, problem solved. Alrighty, so we now have the weapons randomly switching through and selecting through them. So that is good. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. How long has this been? 14 minutes. That's actually not too bad. So now that we have this portion of the feature down, we will be moving on to the next one, which will be I do not know. All I know is it pertains to a mystery box and we'll figure it out. Anyhow, as usual, if you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, a link to my Patreon's in the description. And if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join the Discord server in the link below as well. And as always, I will see you in the next one.